The world of Minecraft is infinite and parallel. Just as one timeline comes to a close, another can start in a lush jungle with many new adventures and dangers awaiting. While previous iterations of myself had survived for quite long, this version of me was still new, fresh, and under-equipped. And it has just one message for all of you. Welcome to Series 2. It's great to be back in Minecraft Hardcore, but before we tell the story, I wanted to ask you for a quick favor. Only about 7% of you are actually subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy what you see, it would mean a lot if you'd go ahead and click that subscribe button. Each of these videos takes about 150 hours worth of work, so it would mean a lot. Now, let's get into the story of how I survived another 100 days in Hardcore Minecraft. My second stream back after dying in my first Hardcore world, I was showing everybody around and starting to get started on the day's projects. What I really needed right now was a lot more resources, just kind of everything. Some iron, diamond, lapis, redstone, and setting up some sufficient food sources, as well as some ability to garner logs and continue building out on my base. Mining obsidian without any efficiency is probably the most boring thing you can do in Minecraft, so you know how to make it interesting. Oh! That unfortunate near death aside, I continued caving around until I ran out of torches, getting to a spot where a large cave system beckoned me, but death was far too likely. Instead, I ran up, slept through the night, and started to think of some accommodation improvements for my little shack in the jungle. We have our obsidian, and we have a flint and steel, but we're not going there right now because hell no. Setting up some guardrails so jungle Osho wouldn't come after me and I wouldn't die to fall damage. I don't have feather falling just yet. I really wanted to embrace the jungle life, and a treehouse is kind of quintessential Minecraft jungle living. When do we get a vid on the death? Probably in a week or so. I'm gonna let 300 get to 1,000,000 because I think if I don't, that is even more channel suicide than it already is. I was still short on supplies though, and even a simple structure like this required a little bit of a reinvestment of resources. This shack actually has served us well, but we're gonna dismantle it right away. We need these slabs for on the house. Spending some time to demolish the shack that had gotten me through the first 10 or so nights in Minecraft, I gazed out from my new raised platform over the ocean and unbesmirched trees before me. This entire forest would one day bend to my will, but for right now, I was an ant crawling along in a path I did not know where it would lead to. I was determined as I started, however, to make this area mine, so my primary focus was setting up all sorts of nice, natural, but lived-in pathways and clearing out smaller mounds of dirt and trees that were really only blocking my area, increasing my foothold in the jungle. This included fighting off several different zombies and the occasional creeper who would blow up and ruin everything. What's over here? I haven't looked over here yet. Oh, this is a cool little grotto. Okay, I think we're gonna put our enchanting in this space, but we're gonna glass over the top. Having established 2 additional areas to make sections of my base, my first priority was the enchanting section. Instead of glass, I went with leaves for the ceiling, so it would hide in with the jungle canopy when viewed at from above and allow natural light to filter through to some degree. Reusing the logs that were inside of here and adding small details such as path blocks, additional dirt outcroppings, mossy stone, and some different weathered logs, I was able to get something that looked quite nice. I finally created my enchanting table, taking it over and carving a path through the jungle, exploring in the underground area that would eventually become a smeltery and fighting off a child with a sword. For some reason, there are so many quotes about me killing children in my Twitch chat. I have no idea where they're getting all that from. The next priority, though, was lighting. The light prevents mobs from spawning, but I didn't just want torches spammed everywhere. So the main idea is hiding lights behind stairs, on the backs of trees, logs, or on pedestals so they look a little more deliberate. However, I didn't light quite enough just yet. What if you used lanterns? Ooh, yes, no, we should definitely do some lanterns. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh! Okay, time to sleep. The next morning, my main priority was repairing the damage that had been done, and realized that if I had been just a few blocks closer without a shield or better armor, this run would have ended pretty quickly. You would have gotten one video out of this world. Continuing work on the path and the improvements. Also, I really want to touch on the fact that I was streaming all of this on Twitch, and I decided to set up some ways for chat to make things more entertaining. A 555-bit donation? Yeah, I bet you can guess what happened. Oh, Dritz. Yep. I'm gonna live to regret that, aren't I? I would 1000% come to regret that, as my chat has far too much fun trolling me with that. But I continued work on several different small aesthetic details around the base, as well as exploring out, finding a sunken ship with some basic treasure, but nothing too much, and a few pigs that I was finally able to lure back to my base with carrots. Here, carrots. Good piggy friends. Yes. Come with me, and you'll see a world of being used for your skin to make books, and you'll be happy and oh so fed, and everything will be fine. Okay, thankfully they care more about the wheat than my singing, and it took far too long, but I also got a few cows over so I can start building up leather for bookcases. Grabbing the treasure map from that sunken ship, I sailed off because it was actually pretty close on a small island that was really only about 150 blocks from where my base was. I used the Daddy Fills method of just sticking a little bit of your cursor out to be able to find the chests, and found some pretty decent loot. But what I found next was even more interesting. Oh, all the mossy cobble. No way. No way did that just happen. What are the odds of those two structures intersecting with each other? This random double structure just reinforced my resolve with this new world. Every day I spent on it, I felt like this was better and better than before. We'll come back and do something cool with this, because look at that! What are the odds of that? On the way back from that random encounter, I found a brown sheep, which isn't the rarest by far, but is still less than 10% chance. Yet another sign that this world is actually pretty awesome. The next priority, though, was food for those animals. I'm making a few paddocks for food out in the lake. I want to continue spreading out and making sure that I'm using the land efficiently. I'm trying to keep my overall footprint of generated chunks small, so that once 117 rolls around, I'll be able to get to the new stuff that much faster. On my way back at the end of the night, though, I had a little bit of a surprise. Around the same time? Probably around the same time as now. Whoa! Okay, I was just saying how we needed to have more light up here. Taking some time to repair from that close call, and very deep breath after chat almost watched me die live again. The next day, it was primarily collecting wood to continue construction on the paddocks, as well as dirt, and starting to plant all of the different resources out here. Killing a few creepers in the water where they're far less dangerous. But with food growing, it was time for another build. I wanted to set up that smeltery area, but not just making a box in the middle of everything. If you can tell from some of the builds, we're going for the aesthetics of everything while we're working on it. So setting up a nice intricate wall pattern was just looking nice. And now, about 30 days in, I had almost everything that I needed to start on the core gameplay loop of Minecraft. That is, feed cows, murder cows, make bookcases, get glowy gear. While there was a bit of a pause between steps 1 and 2 of that plan, I primarily worked on small details around the base, setting up a nice walkway into the smeltery area that both looked ruined and remained fully functional. But as my resources were starting to dwindle, and really just looking for a change of pace, it was down into the mines. I found my way into the bottom of a ravine, which is just death early on in a hardcore world, so I have nothing to do with that. Several creeper attacks just reinforced my point. I grabbed a little bit of resources and found separate diamond veins within a few blocks and exposed to each other, which was just fantastic. Ooh! Ooh! That's nice. This feels like a little much. Ooh! Is this an 8? An 8 vein. Continuing to explore the abandoned mineshaft and finding several more diamonds and several more creepers at the same time. I don't like this with 3 of you. Perfect. I like that way more. Thank you. The chests were okay, but not great. The spawner that I found, however, is going to be key to this playthrough. Okay, that's an amazing find. Hold up a hot minute. And the fact that not 20 blocks away from that spawner is a cave spider spawner as well means I'm going to be able to set up something really interesting. One of those little buggers jumped through a gap and bit my face, poisoning me, and that is extremely dangerous in hardcore. Poison will take you only to half a heart. It won't kill you outright. But with the hitboxes on spiders being absolute trash, using my shield to the best of my ability, I was able to secure out the skeleton spawner to really lock this down and have a huge resource early on. The minecart chests, not the best. The chests in the dungeon, however, whoo boy. Ready? Okay, some iron. Oh, efficiency 5. Efficiency 5! With a very productive evening so far, I tunneled straight up to the surface level to see where this skeleton spawner would be accessible from the ground to build a more direct way in, traveled my way back to the base, and called it a night. With all of those diamonds now in my inventory, it was time to put them to use, upgrading to a full set of diamond armor. Well, almost full set. I was 1 short for the boots. We'll get to that one later. With some mining done, it was time for some crafting and or building. I cleared off the next little mini mountain that was just a few blocks away from the one that I had set up as my primary base. This was going to be the location of my nether portal, but instead of having to go down to then come up, I made a little jungle tree pathway, setting up between the two, using jungle logs and slabs, growing a custom jungle tree, and setting it up that it was this kind of rope bridge. Well, as best as you can have a rope bridge in a game without ropes. Or bridges. I actually ended up being a couple pieces of obsidian short for this, not realizing that I had only grabbed enough for a portal or a table, but not both. I did a couple extra small detail work on the tree just to make everything work well, and ran out of wood and leaves, climbing up another giant jungle tree to fell it and basically transplant it over to my base. I'm gonna go through so many pairs of shears. Once I can get a hoe with silk touch, I'm gonna be so much happier. But I ran down to the mine quick for just a few blocks of obsidian, completed and lit my portal, and then did the one thing that I really didn't want to do. I went to the Nether. Quick pop in, pop out. What could happen? What a shit Nether spawn. Look, horse, it's your favorite biome. Oh no. Oh no. There's a bastion. Oh, Crimson Forest over there. That's cool. Crimson Forest is cool. Let's let everything load in. I don't see an immediate fortress. There you go. We got some quartz. We came. We got some quartz. We conquered. And we're getting the heck out before we die in this world. We got work to do in the overworld before we get anywhere close to coming to the Nether. There we go. Nether has been linked, set up. You're between a wall and another wall. Alright, we're good. Fire charges in. The playlist ended, but it was back to work time. The first thing I did was explore a little bit more around my base, finding another sunken ship with some loot inside. But the swim back to my base across that lake just continues to get better and better. I love the way that this new world looks, and the longer that I play on it, the happier I am. I cleared out some trees to make space for a rudimentary sugarcane farm, just so I can have enough paper ready for when I need to get my books, for the bookcases, for enchanting, and just did some general exploring and groundskeeping around the base. On my way back the second evening out, I was attacked by some pillagers for the first time. Just a random patrol making their way around.
Of course, you spawn in the water where I can't do anything about you right away.
Being able to bow them from the coast, I was able to take them out, and that was actually the first time I had shot my bow, despite having had it for like 10 days now. First banner. We hang you right there. But I really wanted to complete my all diamond look. It was time for another little 1 hour mining session down in the caves. I turned on chunk borders to try to mine along the edges, which slightly increases your chances of getting diamonds, and it worked pretty quickly. Within about 5 or 10 minutes, I had found 2 different blobs of diamonds and was able to fully upgrade my gear. All right, what do we got? At least 4. We're getting at least 4 out of this. Nice, it's a 6. That's good, we get our boots. Grabbing all of the other resources that I could find and fighting off a couple of other mobs just wandering around the caves, it was time to head back up and set a new world record. Nailed it. Nailed it. Send it. Look at that. But just because I was done with the creepers, it did not mean that the creepers were done with me. Our 1110. The good 1110. Bookshelves only go to 2. Where the hell did that just come from? Since I wanted no more of that, it was time to hide a few torches and random lighting throughout the remainder of the jungle. When I get the courage to explore the Nether more, I'll replace most of this with shroom lights to keep that natural glowy feel, but for right now, safety is a little bit more important than aesthetics. That is, except for my enchanting room. My enchanting room is 1000% aesthetics. But before I called it a night on this stream, I wanted to make sure I spent a little bit of time giving some love to the underground areas of my base as well. This is our circle. We're gonna turn this natural circular room into a storage room. We desperately needed to increase the storage space and the function of the downstairs area. So I started carving out and adding some details to make a mine look like an actual mine. Setting up some supports so that the rocks above our heads would not fall, even though I know they won't, but still, and making a staircase down to the lower level. Adding some gold here on the side just to make it look interesting, and some gravel in the lava just to break up the monotony and to give everyone stress when I stood on it. Oh, whoa, no way. Ravines are death sentences in hardcore. Stay out of them. You. Oh no, I don't like this. Where did it go? Where did it go? Did that arrow just go through its face? Yep, no, let's just close up the wall and pretend that didn't happen. But I had worn out my first diamond pick, so it was time to make another, and since I was only 1 bookcase short of full enchanting levels, it was time to, you know, try out a little bit of enchanting. Let's do that right now. I'm done. I have won Minecraft. That is an amazing, amazing find. That's amazing. Oh, Unbreaking 3? I'll take that, sure. Unbreaking 3. What? Unbreaking 3. Efficiency 3. Fortune 2 on the diamond shovel. The sword's gonna be absolutely garbage because it has knockback on it. But what is that? There was no way that this night was going to end any better than any of that, so I quickly headed back to my base and called it there. And at this moment, this is where the death video posted. This is where most of you who hadn't been hanging out with me on Twitch beforehand found out that I had died in my first hardcore world. And while it was definitely bittersweet, by this point, I was pretty much in love with my new jungle base, and I am so excited for what we're about to do next. So this stream started the moment that video was done premiering, and there were a ton of people tuning in that had never seen the jungle world before. So I started the day with a little bit of a tour and a small building project, setting up a bridge down to the actual lower level so I didn't have to climb that ladder every time I wanted to get back into my base, and continuing with a few small details and improvements of the overall jungle base area. But the big project for today was making sure that we had a nice storage room down near the mine. I'm going to be doing a lot of mining and resource gathering, and some of the supplies that I'm going to have even up at the upper level are going to get automatically filtered down to this storage space. And that means it needs to look good and have enough space to keep everything. But I wasn't just going for a wall of chests. No. I had big plans for how this is going to look, with stripped jungle logs for the floor, multiple different types of stone, and a very expensive ceiling once I could afford it. This ceiling will be diamonds at some point. I'm just debating if I leave it natural or do I strip it. First I need to do this. Okay, I love that already. But I wasn't just worried about the long-term plans, the now was just as important, replacing out a lot of cobblestone with some wooden stairs to vary up the colors and make it not entirely gray, and doing small detail work around the entire base. Once I went upstairs to call it a night, however, I had a little bit of an unexpected surprise.
Welcome.
Okay, you know how certain things you don't expect to see in the overworld either? The entire goal of what we are about to do has just changed, okay? Hold on. Yes! Okay. Okay, hold on. What do we name him? Really wanted to make this special. This was the first zombie pigman I had found in the entire world. I didn't see any when I ventured into the Nether earlier. And a few people had been extremely supportive with the first stream that a lot of them had seen. And Nita had been gifting out multiple subs to my Twitch chat. So I figured, let's immortalize her in the world forever. I want your approval. Okay, we need to build a home for Nita. Perfect. Ah! Okay, Nita, you're in the world. You'll stay in the boat. Okay, this is perfect. Can you, Nita, put the hat on. Oh, gotta sleep. But the next day, chores continued, feeding and breeding all of my animals to get more leather to complete that final bookcase, as well as a full tree's worth of lumber, which still didn't get me all of the chests I needed to complete the entire storage area. I did take a few for this small little automatic feature for the mine that I think just elevates it to a whole nother level. I love that minecart going back and forth. It makes the whole place feel like nice and alive. But the next Minecraft day, it was time to connect my jungle complex to the nearest village. There was one back where we spawned, but that was far away. There was another one, however, just over a hill and over a river away, and would be far more easily accessible. I did have to clear and deforest a small line through the streets. Hashtag team trees. I'm so sorry. We're gonna make this last bit interesting. Oh, I missed having enchanted tools so much. I'm so happy we have enchants back, everyone. But doing these kind of monotonous jobs while talking with 100+ people in Twitch chat makes things a little bit more interesting. Plus, they had donation alerts and they could just screw with me. And you know, I had to take the 313 meme and embrace it, which I now regret. So, thank you for the 1, the 10, the 10, and the 10 bits. Dragon Boy 21, thank you and screw you for the 313. Work continued on that slice through the mountain throughout the remainder of this day and into the next, where I continued celebrating our newfound success. Day 69. If I see anything other than nice in the chat for the next minute, y'all are catching a van. With the small details including fence gates and updating the wall pattern to account for the smooth andesite floor, the tunnel was actually coming together pretty nicely. There were small things it needed like leaves and additional details that I would get to, but in all honesty, I was just vibing and enjoying the time. Bridge was the next step. I set up a few easy posts and supports to figure out where I wanted the center of the bridge to basically be, and started setting up a slab walkway from one place to the next. I went in and visited my villager friends, sleeping on their beds for a change, and realized I needed to sunk the ground down just one additional layer for the math to all work out. Sleeping on the bridge because, yeah, reasons, I continued working on finishing this, and I'm gonna need even more jungle wood. Oh man, I'm cutting down half the place I live in. Mods, can you please trigger a prediction to allow people to bet on either lapis or redstone? Please color coordinate it appropriately or else you will trigger me and I will have to cancel it. Gambling has become an essential part of my Twitch stream, and being able to run predictions and let people pick what's going to happen with a random dispenser. This is exciting and interesting, and we do this once or twice a night. People get kind of upset over it. I just bankrupted half of my community with a single button push in Minecraft. But the breeding of cows continued to not only get leather for the final bookshelf of my enchanting space, but also food and supplies, because I'm going to need food to heal. And I'm going to need to heal because it's time to go back to the Nether. There's the Nether cat. This cat ran through the portal last stream. I do not like being up here, so we're gonna carve our own entrance. I bridged over this gap, which, looking over the side, would have been almost instant death if I had fallen into it, and continued exploring around. The increased fog in the Nether made visibility was pretty poor. One of these days I was going to download a mod that got rid of it entirely so I could see just a little bit better. Not bad. I see a crimson forest. I see some hoglins. Some piglins. Sorry. Piglins. I'm not going to Bastion. There's a Bastion over this way, which I am staying the F away from. There was no way I was going anywhere near a Bastion anytime soon. Not until I'm at least fully protection 4 armor. And don't worry, I'm not wearing any gold. Peace is not an option this time around. Watch Legundo die right on TV. Don't say that again. Some of you were here the last time, okay? Grabbing some of the warped mushrooms to keep the actual hoglins away, which legitimately scare me in the Nether. They're pretty much the biggest threat I can think of. I grabbed some crimson wood and some shroomlight so I can start making the jungle look a little bit better. But with this small foray into hell now complete, I was on my way back to the portal and back to the overworld for more projects. I took out my frustrations on not being able to find another fortress on the rocks underneath my base, and thankfully I was rewarded with some diamonds. See? Sometimes rage does actually pay off. Banked all of the resources at my almost completed storage area, and then went up to do some farming and breed all of the animals. So far, I was doing well. Going back, you didn't party hard enough the first time? I wasn't a big partier in college. I really wasn't. I did YouTube videos. Discussing my somewhat boring college career, I was hollowing out a Cave of Wonders area immediately underneath one of the ponds in my base. This is a cave that we had ventured onto and was attached to the stairs down to my mine that I wanted to isolate and keep for a separate project, building basically our own version of a lush cave before Caves and Cliffs comes out in a couple months. I want somewhere to store some important items and to feature and spotlight some big members of the community. I planted a moderate-sized kelp and then a massive bamboo area, with the idea of turning most of it into sticks to trade with Fletchers in the Cave of Wonders space inside the village nearby, just to get some initial emeralds. I'd eventually back away from this idea, but not until 200 days. And yeah, by the way, I've already survived almost 200 days. You're going to be getting another video very soon. But then it's back underground for more diamond mining. Since I don't have unbreaking on any of my picks, getting more diamonds so I can complete the ceiling in that storage room is one of my primary goals right now. I passed through a dirt patch and then remembered Daddy Phil's advice. Oh, wait. We're at 11. Always mine your dirt. Let's see. Hey, always mine your dirt. Always mine your dirt, people. Always mine your dirt. If I'm going to be doing more enchanting, though, the next thing I need to do is get a reliable XP source. I remembered the skeleton spawner that I had found some time ago, and the little spire of cobblestone that I had set to the top of this hill over here to be able to know where it is. I started carving a tunnel through the mountain directly in front of it, with plans to level this mountain entirely and build a secondary area of my base over on this side of the lake, but this was my first step. Found a cave about halfway down and torched it through to protect myself from an inadvertent drop creeper. From there, it was time to do something that I never did in my first 100 days playthrough. Not even a single time. I'm gonna go fishing. I know this is extremely dramatic and 100% the most riveting content and most breakneck part of the entire video, but I just wanted to chat and chill with a little bit and take a moment to stop and smell the flowers. Watch how you died, Rip. Yep. Rough way to go. Oh, come on. I want at least one good thing. Do the thing. Go.
Do the thing. Do the thing. Not a good thing.
I was in the process of securing the skeleton spawner when I dug into a secondary cave spider spawner within about 20 blocks of the skeleton one. I'd be able to make a double grinder from this, but only if I was able to actually secure this spawner and prevent cave spiders from mauling me to death. As I worked my way through the cobwebs, one of them made their way through and was actually able to get a bite on me, but thankfully I was able to survive. I was able to torch and deactivate the spider spawner and then started digging my way through to create the area for the skeleton grinder for easy experience, bones, arrows, and some rudimentary armor.
I think at this point, we just gotta start digging. Diggy diggy hole, diggy diggy hole.
In the process of carving out the area for the grinder, I actually dug into an even lower level cave in this area and found more diamonds. My diamond sealing project is coming along pretty nicely. I didn't just go down though, I followed the caves around, torching through them to increase the spawn rates at the actual grinder. I eventually made my way up to a zombie spawner, much higher and along the same ravine that I had just dug into previously from my storage space. This entire cave system was just chock full of extremely valuable things. But remember, ravines are death, and I wanted to be nowhere close to this, so I headed my way back towards the base. Swimming over, the profile of this base on the lake just continued to get better and better.
Look at our base. Just look at that. How beautiful is that space? Right? Look at all this. I love this base. Like, it's smaller than the Hobbit hole was and the village. It's a very different vibe to our first world. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a very different vibe, but we got to do it. All right, so we're gonna put that luck. We're gonna put this luck of the sea on this fishing rod.
From there, I enchanted a fishing rod with the book that I had recovered earlier and did a little bit more fishing, trying to get some better gear.
Fishing time, fishing time.
A few name tags, a few other rare items, some lily pads. This was actually pretty productive, even if it was standing just in one place. And in all honesty, I never fished in the first 100 days, so I wanted to do a little bit more of it now.
Like, how many days in hardcore have you made it? This is day 100, actually. Right now, we're in day 100. I have not killed the dragon. I have barely even done any nethering. Like, we've been very much base building.
It's hard to think that dying would have been one of the best things that ever happened to me, but right now I was towering my way up to the build limit because I had just completed another 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. This is the second world in which I have made this accomplishment, and it will not be the last. But as I stood on this tower gazing out over everything that I had conquered in the last few days worth of streaming, it was just good to celebrate.
If this image does not give you vertigo, you are probably not paying attention. But we've officially survived 100 days in the new world. I'm super excited. Now let's give you all a bit of a heart attack.
And that, my friends, is the first chapter in my second hardcore story. If you enjoyed this video, I am live right now on Twitch. Come say hi. I would really appreciate it. We just passed 200 days in this world, and I am super excited for what we're working on. Now, just so you know, future videos are going to be more like this one, and not the traditional counting every single day of 100 days. I hope you still enjoy it, because it's the same quality of story, and I can put them out a lot faster if I do it this way. So yes, I'd appreciate it if you came and tuned in. I have a lot more videos in the pipeline that I'm super excited about, and I can't wait for you all to see. So make sure to be subscribed here on the channel, and like I said, come follow me on Twitch. We are doing a stream all day today, and I'm probably gonna beat the Ender Dragon on tonight's stream, depending on, you know, what we find on our next trip into the Nether. Oh, the Nether. Yeah, the next video is gonna be about the Nether. It's pretty dangerous. You want to see the closest I've come to death? Make sure you don't miss the next video. But that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for all of the love and support over the last couple years, months, weeks, however long it feels in quarantine. That's pretty much it for me. Be good to each other. Stay safe.
and I'll talk to you next time.